Hi everybody, my name is Sandy Asher and I write books for young readers. This is my dog Gracie. She's a reading dog. That means she goes to schools and the library and listens while children read books to her. But today I'm going to read a book to you and Gracie will listen with us. This is called Princess Bee and the Royal Goodnight Story, and you can see that I wrote it. It says Sandy Asher. But I did not draw the pictures. They were drawn by Kat Bowman Smith. Princess Bee and the Royal Goodnight Story. Princess Beatrice, better known as Bee, lives in a palace. She does not live there alone. Also in the palace are her mum, the queen, her dad, the king, the royal big sister, the royal big brother, and quite a few royal others. Being a princess is not easy. Before Bee can go to bed at night, she must wait for the royal turner down to turn down the covers on her bed and to leave a rose for sweet dreams beside her pillow. But before she gets to Bee, the royal turner down must first turn down the beds of the king and queen, the royal big sister, the royal big brother. By the time she gets to Bee, there are often no roses left. Never mind. Mum always brings an extra when she comes to tell Bee the Royal Goodnight Story. One day, Princess Bee's mum called for the royal folder, the royal packer, and the royal suitcase snapper. "Please pack my things," she said. "Where are you going?" asked Bee. "To goodness knows where," said Mum, "to visit my favorite aunt." "How long will you be gone?" asked Bee. 3 days, said Mum. "Nights too?" asked Bee. 3 days and 3 nights, and then I will come home. When her suitcases were ready, Mum gave out goodbye kisses. One for the king, one for the royal big brother, one for the royal big sister, and one for Bee. And then she gave them each another. Mum never ran out of kisses, but it was time to go, so she did. I have never spent 3 whole days and 3 whole nights without Mum before, said Bee. And I don't think she has ever spent 3 days and nights without me. Never mind, said the royal big sister. Tonight I will tell you a good night story. That's Mum's job, said Bee. Oh, anyone can do it, said her sister. I don't think so, said Bee. That night, the royal big sister perched on the windowsill in Bee's bedroom. Once upon a time, she said, there was a royal big sister who threw a ball so hard and so fast it landed on the moon. After that, She became the first royal big sister to pitch the winning game in the World Series. The end. That story was too short, said Bee. I'm still awake. There is no more, said the royal big sister. After the World Series, baseball season is over. Good night. It was not a good night for Bee. Mom never runs out of story before I fall asleep, she thought. And she tossed and turned as long as the stars twinkled. The next morning, Bee's eyelids drooped as she sat before the royal oatmeal. Bee, cried the royal big brother, you look miserable. What's wrong? I couldn't fall asleep last night, said Bee. Never mind, said her brother. Tonight I will tell you a good night story. That is Mum's job, said Bee. Oh, anyone can do it, said her brother. I don't think so, said Bee. We have an extra guest here listening to this story. Can you see him? That's our cat, Friday. Friday, can you look this way? No. He just wants to look the other way. And if you look right down here, Gracie has almost fallen asleep listening to our story. That night, the royal big brother sat on the edge of Bee's bed. Once upon a time, he said, there was a royal big brother who tamed a fire-breathing dragon and made it his pet. And then he took it to school for show and tell. The end. That story is too short, said Bee. I'm still awake. There is no more, said her brother. You can only take a pet to show and tell at school once. Good night. It was not a good night for Bee. Mom never, ever runs out of story before I fall asleep, she thought. And she sighed and grumbled almost as long as the crickets sang. The next morning, Bee's shoulders sagged as she sat before the royal waffle. Bee, cried her dad, you look miserable. What's wrong? I couldn't fall asleep last night, said Bee. Never mind, said Dad. Tonight I will tell you a good night story. That is Mum's job, said Bee. That's true, said Dad, gathering Bee up in his lap. And Mum's not here, said Bee, with a sniffle. She's not here eating a royal waffle, said Dad, but she's here in other ways. She is? Asked Bee. She is. He gave Bee a big royal hug. Think about it, he said. Bee thought about it all day. That night, she lay awake in her room alone. I cannot fall asleep without listening to Mum's stories, she thought. But maybe if I listen very, very hard, I will hear one. Bee lay perfectly still in the dark and listened as hard as she could. Once upon a time, she heard, there was a princess named Bee and a queen named Mum. Mum went away to goodness knows where, and Bee missed her very much. And Mum missed Bee very much too. For 3 whole days and 3 whole nights, they missed each other. But Mum said she would come home, and she did. She brought lots and lots of new stories with her. And everyone lived happily ever after because Mum never, ever, 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 ever ran out of, and Bee fell asleep, dreaming of stories and kisses. The end. Thank you for listening. And thank you, Friday. You were a good listener too. And thank you, Gracie, who almost fell asleep. Bye-bye.